Time to start our season-ending interviews with the political party leaders. The newest of the group is Jagmeet Singh. He's been leader of the NDP since last October. I talked to him on Parliament Hill last week. And it's our season-end interview with the still new leader of the NDP. Jagmeet Singh was elected leader about 9 months ago, and here he is. Well, we're sitting on Parliament Hill. Beautiful summer day. Thanks for joining us.
It's an honor to be here.
Let's talk about one thing I found kind of surprising, and I never would have thought this at the NDP, of course. I don't think of any party, but the NDP in particular. You've been haunted a little bit by sexual harassment allegations. What's that done to the caucus? What do you think's changed?
Well, one of the things I got to say is that I knew that becoming a leader wasn't going to be an easy job. Right. I got into this knowing that it was going to be difficult because fighting for the change we want to see in this country it's a difficult thing. And so some of it's been difficult dealing with these type of crises, affecting the caucus. It's tough to try to deal with things like this, and more importantly, it's tough to want to try to bring some change, to try to build a better workplace, hopefully a better world. So these are tough things, but I knew what I was getting into. I knew it was going to be tough, and so I've been up for the challenge.
Okay, so morale getting better. I mean, that was a hard thing for a caucus to face.
It's a hard thing for a caucus to face, but I think it's also brought the caucus together. We came together, and we continue to come together to think about how we can all improve and build a better workplace, build a better culture, and try to change the culture that for too long has been one where it's forced people to be silent.
One thing that seems likely to dominate the political agenda for the foreseeable future is trade issues, particularly with the United States, tariffs or trade deals that don't come to fruition. What does the NDP think is the best course for Canada in dealing with the Trump administration? Do we cut a quick deal on NAFTA and try and get the best we can quickly, or do we wait and hold out as long as we can? What do you think should be done there?
A couple of things I think we've got to keep top of mind. One is there is no real playbook or rule book when it comes to dealing with Trump. We don't really know what the best way to act is. So I think then we've got to go down to the next stage of our analysis and say, listen, at the end of the day, we've got to make agreements that actually benefit Canadians. We've got to have that as our priority. What was going to make the lives of people, everyday people, better? And so in our agreements, instead of focusing on free trade, we really got to focus on what will make a fair trade and what will create an environment or a climate for trade, for business, where we can encourage great business, but we can also make sure workers are receiving a fair share, the environment is protected, and that we've got a level playing field with other jurisdictions.
Okay, but what do you do with Trump? How do you handle that? Do you play hardball? Do you realize that you can't beat an economy that's 10 times our size and you're going to have to make compromises? Where do you see, what would an NDP government do that's different from what the Trudeau government's doing?
Well, one of the elements that we've seen with the Trudeau government, and something we've supported, when I received a call a couple of weeks back when the first trade tariffs were announced by Trump, we've got to stand up to a bully. Trump has been consistently, and his administration have consistently used bullying tactics to intimidate and to overpower people, and that's something we can't allow to happen. So we've got to stand up. There's also significant impacts. The decisions that Trump is making is actually impacting and hurting workers in the States as well. There's a number of jurisdictions, a number of states that are going to be negatively impacted, and have already started to see that. We are hopeful that we can show that this type of policy and this type of direction that the Trump administration is taking the country in is going to hurt Canada, but it's also going to hurt the people in the United States as well. So hopefully that will then allow some pressure to be placed and for us to negotiate a good deal that ensures that all workers get a good fair share.
How difficult has it been for you personally to watch two NDP premiers in Alberta and BC basically in a cutthroat rivalry against each other over a pipeline? That's got to, I don't know if it concerns you or you think that's an expected part of the political process. What do you think of that?
I mean, I think that it's not uncommon that provinces have disagreements, and that's why we've got a federal government to help to arbitrate these differences and to be the final say on a number of things and to provide leadership at the federal level. I think what's interesting for me is that I look at both provinces and I see great leaders. Rachel Notley, Premier Notley, is a great leader. She's done phenomenal work, and we need a premier like Premier Notley in order to do what we want to do to build a better country. She's brought in a number of changes that have helped out people in Alberta and has brought forward a really aggressive climate change plan. Similarly with Premier Horgan, he's already started to work on dealing with one of the major crises that impact our country, which is a housing affordability crisis. Already started building new homes. and has shown this commitment to defending the environment as well. And I've always said that in this dispute, my focus has been on the Prime Minister. His decisions, his lack of action, his failure to follow through on commitments is why we're in this position already. The fact that he broke his agreement to renew the environmental assessment process, the fact that now, against the will of people, he's buying up a private pipeline with public resources of Canadians, our resources. This shows that he doesn't have the leadership to take us to the future.
Tom Mulcair, in his farewell interview with us recently, suggested that one piece of advice he'd give to you is get a seat in the House of Commons. Are you getting any closer to deciding if that's something you're going to do before the election?
Well, I appreciated his advice. He is a very skilled parliamentarian, and it's something that I've been reflecting on a lot. The team has been bringing up options and giving me counsel on it, and something that I'm still open to. I would be honored to serve, anyone, any community in Canada. It'd be my honor to do that. And I just got to make sure that we make the right decision and listen to the advice of the people around me.
That's not a yes or a no, but I think I'm not going to get one. I want a final question I got to ask you. There was a by-election last week in Quebec.
Yep.
The NDP went from almost 30% to 9%, and that was quite a collapse. Are you concerned that the orange wave base that you built up under Jack Layton is turning into a ripple?
I am concerned with the results. I'm disappointed. It's something that gives me concern. It shows that it's clear with the results that we've got a lot of work to do. We've got to really think about how we can improve our offering in Quebec. We started some of that work already, met with some of the MPs and started chatting about, the MPs from Quebec, what we can do to bring that strong vision and show that we have the best vision for Quebec and we can be the best advocates for the issues that impact Quebec. Something that we're going to continue to work really hard on. It's a top priority for me, and we'll work on it.
I guess last quick question. You got married this year. Congratulations again.
Thank you.
What are you doing this summer? You getting the honeymoon squeezed in finally?
I think I owe it to my wife. She's put up with a really tough,
yes,
a tough couple of months. So I promise to make that happen. So we'll figure out some time to make it happen.
All right, Jagmeet Singh, have a great summer. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks.
All right.
An honor.